Just a couple more little clicks and we will be on board and ready. Okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga for Aging Strong. We are in the month of November 2025. We have some work today for the lower back region, and there's a lot involved with the lumbar spine. So we're going to move the spine through all of the actions that it does, but the majority of the work we're going to be doing is side bending and rotating. I have a medium hand weight that we can add for a little bit of upper body strength training if you'd like, a chair for balance, a yoga block, and maybe a blanket to pad the knees. So we're going to start with a little bit of Tai Chi. And the benefit of Tai Chi brings the mind and the body, connects it together, focuses on mindful movement and balance and coordination. So I'd like for you to stand in what we call the weightless stance. So you'll stand on your right foot and you're going to just tap and lift your left knee up a couple of times. So the weightless stance means most of your weight is on your supporting leg and you just have a little light tap of your other foot. So I just want you to kind of connect with your posture. And then bring your hands into right ball position. So this means right hand on top, left hand underneath, like you're holding a little ball. Good. Then we are going to step out to the left, roll the ball. So now we're in left ball position. Stay over here and try your weightless stance. So you're just lifting your knee up and tapping your foot down, connecting with your balance. Now, this side is much more difficult for me. I know it is for many reasons. Just be patient with yourself. And then let's step out and we'll roll the ball. Now go back and forth between sides with your roll the ball. And what I want you to do is pick your foot up, slightly bend your supporting knee, and step out to the side. You're almost striking your heel first when you reach that foot out, so you have a little bit of dorsiflexion of the ankle. And in our Tai Chi form, the YMCA 8 form for better balance, this one is form number 1. Roll the ball. Let's do 2 more to each side. Each time you come into weightless stance, and 1 more each side. Roll the ball. Come back into right ball position. Form number 2 is called part the wild horse's mane. So we're going to pick up this left foot, step it out on the diagonal, strike the heel, and just let the hands pass each other. You're looking at your left palm. Your right hand is at your hip. And then step back into right ball weightless stance. And your hands just come back here. So we'll step out, part the wild horse's mane, step back in. Good. Many of you have done these forms with me quite a few times. We worked on them a couple years ago, but we haven't revisited them for a while. Good. Reach out with the heel. And back in. 1 more time on this side. Coming back to our weightless stance, do 1 roll the ball to the left to come to the other side. We'll step that right heel out on the diagonal, part the wild horse's mane. You're looking into your palm, and then step back in. So your right hand is like a mirror, and you're looking into your hand or looking into the mirror. Really try to move mindfully with good balance as you're shifting your body's weight into that right heel, bending the right knee, and then pushing back away to the left. 2 more. Part the wild horse's mane. And 1 more. Great. Now we'll do one roll the ball to the right and part the wild horse's mane. Roll the ball to the left. Part the wild horse's mane. Good. We'll do two more each direction. Roll the ball to the right. Part the mane. We're warming up the upper body and the lower body, shoulders, hips, ankles. One more each side. Roll the ball to the right. Part the wild horse's mane. Starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with these forms. And then what we do to close a form when we finish is we step out, place our hands to our shoulders, brush off, and step in. Great. So let's bring our feet out into wide Wu Chi position. Nice wide stance. Bend your knees. Allow your knees to press outward a little bit. And we'll begin to side stretch from side to side, starting to check in with your spine, your lower back. So this is known as lateral flexion of the spine. We do this without rotating, and we're moving our body through what's called the frontal plane of motion. The frontal plane divides our body into halves, the front half of our body and the back half. So if you can imagine a pane of glass that splits your body into two pieces, front and back, and you're moving your arms along that pane of glass, right through the midline. Good. One more each side. Keeping your core nice and engaged. And then come back to center. Raise up. Turn your right foot out into a warrior two stance. Your left foot is parallel to the side edge of your mat. We'll reach the elbow down to the thigh. Left hand reaches up. We'll start to add some rotation of the spine. So pull the top shoulder blade back, look up at the ceiling, and then you're going to reach your hand through that little window of space there under your armpit and look behind you. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, rotate. Now you can always place your hand on your chair here if you need a little bit of assistance with balance. Moving our spine through rotation. Two more repetitions. One more. Nice big inhale. Exhale, rotate. Then reach up and hold. I want you to circle your left wrist around a few times one direction. And then reverse it. Just getting our wrists warmed up for any movement that we do on our hands. Great job. Then pull yourself up to reverse warrior. So we're going to reach the right hand up and take that wrist and circle it around. This left hand can be along your thigh, or you can sweep it behind your back a little bit here. Reverse the wrist circle. And then come back to warrior two, arms, and release them down. Good. Let's switch the stance of the feet, pivoting the right foot in, the left foot out. Just a nice comfortable stance here that feels good for your body. And we'll reach the elbow or the forearm down. Right arm reaches up, and we're going to start to rotate back a little bit first, inhaling. And as we exhale, we feed the fingers through that little window there and look behind. Again, anything that you need for balance, I want you to assist yourself so that you can really get a nice twist here. 3 more. And you can be up here a little higher also, placing your hand on your thigh so that there's not quite as much of a side bend. 2 more. Feel all those little muscles in your feet and ankles and toes helping to brace you on the floor. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Then reach that right hand up. We'll hold it here and circle the wrist. And whatever you'd like to do with your head, if you look up to your hand, that's more challenging for balance. Reverse the wrist circle. You can also look down toward the left foot. Or change your vision or your drishti. Pull yourself up into sun warrior or reverse warrior. Gazing up at the hand here, we'll circle the wrist maybe about 5 times each way. And reverse. Back to your warrior 2 stance. And release the arms down. Pivot back into wide Wu Chi. Bend the knees. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, place the hands right on the thighs and hinge forward. Just a little bit. We'll do standing cat and cow. So round your lower back, look toward your belly. That's your cat stretch. And then reverse that. Tip your tailbone back. Gaze forward. That's your standing cow. Exhale into cat. Pull your abs in. Inhale to cow. So with this pelvic tilt, this is flexion and extension of the lumbar spine. So we've moved the spine through lateral flexion, through rotation, and now through flexion and extension. One more cow. One more cat. And then roll yourself all the way up to take a nice 5-pointed star. Stretch your fingers, maybe gaze up. And then let the hands float down. Step your feet into mid-stance position. Place your hands on your hips, and we're going to go through circumduction of the spine. So we let the hips come forward, to the side, to the back, and to the side. Now, it's not just your hips that are moving here. You might notice this brings a little bit of movement into your ankles. It takes your center of gravity off the center by bringing the hips back, side, and forward. This is also warming up the femur in the hip socket. Good. Let's pause and reverse. Just a little gentle connection of your glutes. When you press the hips forward, you're slightly tightening the glutes. Feel a nice pada bandha. That's the foot lock of your feet into the earth or into your mat. Just a couple more this direction. And relax. Great. Option to have a hand weight, and I'm going to use my chair for balance and to also store my weight on the chair. And that way I can grab it when I want, use it or not use it. So we are going to step the left foot forward toward the chair, step the right foot back, coming into a little bit of a warrior one, and then reach for that hand weight with your right hand. So we're stabilizing here. You can place your left hand on the chair if you need a little bit for balance. And we're going to pull the elbow back. This is a one-arm row. Exhaling to pull it back. And then we can add some rotation of the spine here by pulling the elbow up and turning your body and then bringing it back down. You might need your chair when you're adding this rotation. So having the hand weight is just an option. It does add some strength training to your upper body and also in addition to your core as we're rotating the spine. Great job. Now an option here is going to be reaching the left hand to the chair and picking the right foot up off the floor. And we'll start without the twist. Pull that elbow up and down. Now we have same arm, same leg supported. So this makes this more challenging to keep our body and our center of gravity in place. So maybe add just a small rotation, see how you do with it, and back down. It's a little easier to balance if you don't turn your head. So I'm just keeping my head looking down toward the chair, turning my spine. 2 more. Starting to feel some work in my supporting ankle muscles and calf, all the way up into the hip. Good. Place the weight to the chair. Take a big step back with your right foot. Stretch your calf muscle. So I'm trying to push my heel down into the floor. Front knee is bent. Back leg is pretty straight. And then begin to slowly straighten out that front leg a little bit to come into pyramid. And then bend the front knee again. So when we have the front knee bent, we feel the stretch in the back calf a little more. And then when we straighten out the front leg, the stretch comes down through the front leg hamstring. So just take it back and forth between these two stretches. And just use your chair a little bit for balance and support. One more, finishing up in your pyramid pose and holding that stretch here. So if you're pretty flexible, you can come down a little deeper. You may be using your block or the floor or gently supporting on your shin or keeping the hands on the chair. 3 breaths. Great job. We'll rebend that front knee, step forward, up to mountain pose, and just pause there for a moment. Notice what you're feeling in your body. I'm noticing that my heart rate came up a little bit on that series. Okay, so now your right foot is the front foot. We have your hand weight in your left hand. I'm going to do a nice little warrior one here and hinge forward. Reaching the weight down toward the floor, we'll pull the elbow up without twisting first. So muscles that are responding here on this action are the back of the shoulder, upper back, a little bit of the bicep, a little bit of the upper trapezius, which is also in your upper back. Maybe firing into those lats a bit. And if you're ready, we'll start to add rotation. So we start to pull that left shoulder up, bring it back down. Use your hand on a support if you need there for balance. You can take your head with you, or you can keep looking down at the ground. That's the beauty of the cervical spine. We can move it in a different direction than the thoracic spine, or not move it at all. We're going slow, so we're really controlling that workload. And one more here. Strengthening the obliques, the QL muscle. And then we'll add our second option. So we step forward to put the right hand on the chair. Your leg doesn't have to be up too high. Try to level your hips and pull that weight up. So when we do standing bird dog, we would have our right foot on the floor and our left hand on the chair. That makes it easier to balance. So this is a real challenge, especially once we start to add rotation. So if you'd like to turn the spine, and I lost it. Readjusted here. Let's do about 5 of these with your optional twist. And if you don't use a weight, you're still getting a lot of benefit here. Same thing if you don't move your head. 2 more. Really feeling that right hip. And 1 more. Then we'll place the hand weight to the chair. Step your left foot back. Stretch your calf. So the length of your stride really just depends on you and your ability to keep your heel down and to get that good stretch through your calf to really straighten the back leg. And then let's slowly start to shift into pyramid by straightening out the front leg, shifting your stretch into your hamstring. And then go back and forth between these two, bending the knee, feeling the stretch in the back leg calf, and then straightening the leg, feeling the stretch in your hammy. And make sure your breathing is moving smoothly. We had a request today for some breath technique, which we'll be doing later in class, but just for now, breathe whenever your body says it's time to breathe. Let's do 1 more. Finishing in your pyramid, and we'll stay there in that pose and hold. Now, if you're really tight in your hamstrings, you might be up in here. I want you to find the place that you feel a good stretch without any strain in the low back region. Couple more breaths. Good. Rebend that front knee, step forward, rise up to mountain, and check in. Should feel nice and stretched down the back side of the posterior chain from the glutes, hamstrings, all the way down the calves. Now, part of lower back problems can be tight hip flexors. So I want you to bring your right foot back again so that you're using your left foot for balance. Bring both hands to the chair. We're going to bend the right knee and use your glute to push your leg up toward the ceiling and then bring it down a little. If you feel comfortable with this, you can add your hand weight behind the back of the knee, but you got to get a good grip on it, and you'll push up and come down. So when we connect with the glute and contract the butt, that helps to relax the hip flexor, but range of motion is important too. So if we're only lifting the leg up maybe this high, you're not getting a stretch in your hip flexor. You need to push it up there so you get that muscle to lengthen, but try not to arch your lower back. And if you'd like to do a bird dog here, you can take your left hand off the chair. So now you have opposite hand and foot connected and supported. Let's do 2 more hip extension. And 1 more. Bring the knee down level with the other knee, and we're going to do hip abduction. So you're going to push your knee out to the side and back in. Push out. Again, you can have your left hand off the chair. Press out. So we're working the medial glute, outer thigh, bracing the core, really pulling the abs in to support the low back. 3 more. Press out. 2 more, with or without the hand weight. And 1 more. Very carefully remove the dumbbell, release it to the chair, and rise. Ooh, so surprisingly enough, it was my standing leg that really felt a lot of work there, a lot of stabilization. Okay, let's repeat that to the other side. So if you want, you can try a couple reps to see if you want to use the hand weight. You've got to have enough flexion in your knee to hold on to it. So Joyce and I have had knee replacements. Sometimes it's hard to get enough flexion after that kind of surgery to be able to hold on to that dumbbell. All right, my standing knee is slightly bent. Exhale to press that weight up. Option to lift your right hand off the chair. There's a lot going on here, so I want you to pick a level where you can get the most benefit out of this, the one that works best for your body. Try to hesitate a little bit at the top range, so press it up, hold, and then bring it down. Let's do 3 more. Hold, and down. I'm already feeling that right hip. 2, and 1. Bring the knee level with the right leg and push the leg out to the side and back in. So make sure you're not rotating your pelvis when you do this. We're just pushing the leg out, not turning our hips. Option to pick your right hand up. We have 4 more on this side. Press it away. 3 more. Add a little hesitation. Really feel the strength building in your glutes. 2. 1 more. Press it away. Bring it in. Remove your hand weight. And rise all the way up. Ooh, really felt it in those hips. Okay, so using your chair as an option, let's come into downward facing dog. So we'll take a nice big inhale exhale into your forward fold. Hands can come to your chair or bypass your chair, coming down to your mat, and press back into your down dog. Pressing both heels toward the earth. So we're going to do alternating leg raises. So the right leg comes up and down. The left leg comes up and down. So this is hip extension, similar to what we did with the hand weight. You're lifting that leg as high as you can without rotating your hip, at least for now. If you have wrist issues, then hands on the chair is a wonderful option for this. Let's do one more on each side. And then taking a break, you can either drop your knees and take child's pose or walk your feet forward again, maybe to a forward fold or to come all the way up. So pick your resting position. We'll do this one more time, and I'm going to use the chair on the second option. So inhale, exhale, come down, back into your down dog. It's important if you're using your chair, make sure that it's not going to slide out from underneath you. And we'll lift the right leg up and hold it up and turn the hip outward. Bend your knee and push your foot toward your left ear. I don't know how better to describe that. And you're opening up your hip flexor, tightening your glute muscle. Good. And bring your hip back to level, straighten the leg, lower it down. Same thing on the other side. Lift the left leg up, rotate the hip, and bend the knee and push your foot toward your right shoulder. We're lifting the leg as high as we can. We're pushing that heel toward the opposite side to tighten the glute and to get a nice hip flexor stretch. And then we'll come back out and lower down. So from here, let's all come to a child's pose. Bring your hands down, step your feet back, drop your knees, and relax. And while you're doing that, I'm going to grab my blanket here to cushion my knees a little bit. And then hold that child's pose or puppy pose. I'm not able to sit my hips all the way back to my heels, so puppy pose is a little bit better for me here. Okay, we are going to move into either a pigeon pose or a modified pigeon. So what we want to do is bring the right knee forward and then bring your ankle toward the left side of your mat. And if you're doing modified, you're just going to set your right hip down onto the floor, bending your left knee like a little Z-sit position, and then lower yourself over that front knee. For your full pigeon, you're going to extend that leg all the way back behind you and then relax down anywhere into the pose that feels okay for you. So let's just hold here, maybe about a 1 minute hold in our pigeon. I've got my clock across the room. I can take a look at that. So I get a lot of questions about pigeon. Matter of fact, when I was teaching at the Blaisdell Y, Kari and Nancy were asking, do you have to do it with your knee all the way over to the side and your foot the other direction and completely stacked? The answer is no, you don't have to. That's a very difficult position for a lot of us to get into, and it can be harmful to the knee. So that's why I like dropping the hip over to the side. It gives you the stretch that you need without putting your knee in any jeopardy or risk of twisting it. So make sure you're modifying this any way you need to make it comfortable. One more breath here. And then as you start to walk yourself up, bend this back knee and see if you can grab your ankle. If it's not accessible, you can take your yoga strap and wrap it around your ankle, or you can just leave your knee bent. We're stretching the quad and the hip flexor. So I want you to find a posture where you can feel the front thigh stretching and lengthening. And breathe. The other benefit I like reaching back for the ankle is I'm getting a nice stretch through my left shoulder and pectoral muscle. One more breath. And then release that side. We'll come back into our child's pose. I'm just going to pull that knee back up underneath me. Now with child's pose, your hands can come next to the sides of your body. Your knees can be closer together, or your arms can reach forward and you can take your knees wide and just let your belly drop into the space. Now, before we switch sides for our pigeon, you can stay here in child's, or you can press up into one more downward dog. This gives you a chance to straighten out your knees if they're complaining from being bent for a bit. And my right knee says, thank you for straightening it out. And then we're going to bring the left knee forward for your pigeon or modified pigeon. So maybe start here in modified, dropping your hip to the floor and then lowering yourself down over that leg or sliding the other one back a little bit more. Sometimes we have different issues on one side than we do the other, so it might not look the same for your pigeon on this side. Take a look at my clock. We'll give us a good solid minute here just to relax and breathe. This is a nice hip opener to stretch the piriformis muscle, the deep external rotators of the hip, the glutes. If you're a person who's had any issues with sciatic nerve pain or discomfort, this is a great stretch to do. Try to relax and to breathe deeply. Let's see where we're at here. We have about 10 seconds. And then begin to press yourself up. We're reaching for the ankle here, pulling the heel toward the glute, opening up the hip flexor, opening up the heart, the chest. Use your yoga strap and loop it around your foot if you need to, or just bend your knee and lean your body back a little bit. That works out great too, to get the quad and the hip flexor. And we're gently tightening the glute on that muscle, just squeezing it a little bit. Maybe 3 more breaths. And then we'll release the ankle and we'll bring the back leg all the way around and then sit here on our mat or on our blanket. So we're just going to sit up tall, have your feet any position away from you, and we're going to work on boat pose. You can also have your hand weight if you'd like to for this. I'll grab it to show as a demo. So we're just going to sit tall, lengthen the spine, lean back a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. I want your back to feel comfortable. And we're just going to turn to the right and look behind and twist. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can also sit in easy cross-leg pose and add your twist here. That's going to take a little bit of the pressure out of your low back. And then come back to the middle, twist to the left, hold, choose a pose that works okay for your back. It's about getting the rotation and not necessarily the body's position at this time. And then come back to the middle. So boat pose has a lot of variations. Variation 1, we're just going to lean back a little bit and hold on here, supporting yourself, feeling your abdominals engaging. Level 2, still holding on, we'll lift the right leg up and set it down, lifting the left leg up. Set it down. Level 3, we let go of the back of the legs. The next level, we lift the right leg up. And you can stop at whatever level you need to today. Set it down, left leg up, down. Next level, we have a hold of the legs. We pick both knees up. Or we let go. So pick your level. Let's hold 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your feet down. Allow your knees to open into butterfly and stretch. You're releasing your low back here as well as your inner thighs. So for those of you that were in class on Tuesday, I was talking about this article that I found that had some wonderful exercises to do for strengthening. Many of them we've done before. They involve using a kettlebell in the magazine article, but we can definitely use a hand weight. And I want to try to add some of these exercises into our classes. So today, sitting up, I want you to come into a one leg straight, the other knee bent position. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you get to sit any way you want to sit. This is with or without the hand weight. This movement is called the halo. So depending on the range of motion of your shoulders, your halo might look like a circle right in front of your face. You're kind of circling around the shape of your face. Or if you have the range of motion in your shoulders, the halo goes behind your head and then to the front. So it's almost like it's circling your neck from front to back. You can try this without the weight. It still gives you the range of motion work, but the weight adds that strengthening through your core. Let's go one more, then we're going to pause and reverse direction of the halo. So again, it can be right here, just coming up to your forehead and down, or maybe right in here to your chin. So, Nancy Weber, are you able to lift the bum shoulder by holding on to the weight and having your good arm work. So if you're staying after class for the chat, I want to hear how you're able to modify the halo for your shoulder. And same thing for Esther. So let's do a couple more this direction. Nice. And then we'll set the weight down and we'll stretch forward. So if you have your yoga strap handy, you can place that under the bottom of your foot and then stretch it down. If this feels better for you to lay on your back and hold your leg up, that's a great option for this stretch for the hamstring. Let's hold it just about a minute total. Relax the inner thigh and hip on this left leg. Try to keep your spine pretty neutral so we're not hunching and rounding to get closer. We're staying with a lifted spine. Good. Just a few more breaths here. Excellent. Okay, take your time to set yourself up with the reverse position. So straightening out the opposite leg. Oh, that knee says, oh no, that didn't feel very good. And bring it on in here. Sit up tall. And we'll come into your version of your halo. Let's start to the left first this time. So up and around the forehead or right in here, or bringing it any amount behind the head. So if you're able to go back behind the head, you're going to get a little bit of stretch through your triceps and your lats. And we're trying not to bend the spine. So we're keeping neutral spinal alignment while the arms are moving through this halo. Take it around one more time. And then reverse. And you can certainly do this without the weight, maybe lacing your hands together or even holding on to your yoga strap with a little space between your hands and circling it around. Good, 2 more. Just a nice moderate pace, not too slow, not too fast. And then relax your weight down, prepare to stretch. Just about a minute here. Lengthen your spine, sit tall, and then flex forward any amount and breathe. So the breath technique we're going to be working on today has several names. It's the left nostril breath pattern. The left nostril breath is also called the cooling breath, the calming breath. It brings our body into the rest and digest side of our nervous system. So we either have the fight or flight side or the rest and digest side, the sympathetic nervous system or the parasympathetic. So the parasympathetic is to breathe through your left side nostril only. So I want you to release the stretch now and get into a position that feels comfortable for you. You can lay down on your back. You can sit in simple cross-leg pose. You can sit in a chair. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to get yourself situated where you want to be. So this is sometimes difficult to do if you have a stuffy nose. Sometimes it's a good idea to blow your nose real quick before you try this and make sure you have clear passage in your left side nostril. So using your right hand, what I like to do is put my right thumb against the side of my nostril, and then I'm making a little L shape with my hand. Let's see if you can see it there. L shape. And I put my thumb on the nostril and the fingers up to the center of the forehead. So all we're going to do is to inhale and exhale only through this left side. And I'm mirroring you, so you're going to be doing the opposite of what I'm doing because I am using my right hand. So we want to really open the throat. So lengthen your neck. Inhale deeply all the way down into your belly. Exhaling through that left nostril. So our left nostril breathing stimulates the opposite hemisphere of the brain. And again, it reduces our blood pressure, anything that's involved in the fight or flight side of our nervous system. It slows your heart rate down. It helps you to relax deeper. It's a great breathing pattern to do when you're ready to go to sleep at night, to help you to relax and calm down, or if you're feeling anxious about anything in your life, take a few minutes and try the left nostril breath. We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. Maybe close your eyes. If you can, try to deepen the breath. Inhale deeper with a full exhalation. Couple more nice deep breaths through that left nostril. And then just release your hand. Just take a few more normal breaths through both nostrils. Pausing for just a moment to call to mind someone or something that you are especially grateful for today. November is sometimes thought of as gratitude month as we're starting to move toward Thanksgiving, focusing on those things that we are grateful for in our life. And I am so grateful for the LisaBug community that we have formed, for this opportunity to be able to guide you through your classes, even from Florida here. Such a wonderful community that we have formed. So let's unite together as a community, taking a breath in. If you're seated, you can sweep the arms up. Exhale, thumbs to heart. We pause here to celebrate our hard work today, the dedication we have to the health of our spirit, mind, and body, and the dedication we have to the LisaBug community. And the peace that resides in my heart honors the peace in the hearts of each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for practicing with me. If you can stay along for the chat, I would be thrilled. If you need to jump off, send me a little message. Let me know how class was for you today. I'm going to shut off recording, and I'll meet you on my other laptop. See you in two shakes.